I can't wait for the family reunion, I said softly at dinner, trying to sound casual. My voice had that nervous edge you get when you're hoping no one will throw a grenade in the conversation. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe. My brother's laugh hit me first. Slow, sharp, cruel. You're not invited, he said, leaning back in his chair, a smirk stretching across his face. It's for the real family. Everyone laughed, not politely, not awkwardly. Full-on, teeth-baring laughter like I had just walked into a private club where I didn't belong. Dylan gave a small, uncertain laugh, half trying to belong, half unsure if it was okay. Mom kept chewing like she hadn't just declared war on me. Dad muttered something under his breath. Lana stared at her plate, pretending she couldn't hear, as though invisibility might save her from witnessing my humiliation. I smiled. Not because it was funny, not because I agreed. I smiled because in that moment, I understood something I hadn't admitted to myself before. They had made a choice, and I would not beg to be included in it. I folded my napkin, pushed my half-eaten plate aside, stood up, and left the room. The hurt settled in slowly, in the pit of my stomach. I could feel it in my chest, heavy and cold, but I didn't let it show. I walked to my room and just breathed. 4 days later, the real sting came. Dad tried to withdraw $2,400 from the joint emergency account, the one I had painstakingly built when Mom's hospital bills piled up, the one I had been funding alone for 3 years. The transaction was declined. I snapped a screenshot and sent it to him, plain, cold. Payment denied. Must be that real family policy. And then I turned off notifications. I went about my day. I told myself it was fine. I told myself I wasn't angry. But the truth, I was simmering, quietly, waiting. 2 days later, it came. The pounding. Repeated, furious hits on the front door that made the entire house tremble. I froze for a second. My heart raced. Who in their right mind knocks like that? I approached the peephole. And there they were. Dad's face, red, tense, ready to shove the door off its hinges. Cody pacing, fists clenched. Mom just standing there, calm on the surface, that classic I'm the victim here face that always wanted me to scream. I smiled. Not because it was funny, not because I agreed. I smiled because in that moment, I understood something I hadn't admitted to myself before. They had made a choice, and I would not beg to be included in it. I folded my napkin, pushed my half-eaten plate aside, stood up, and left the room. The hurt settled in slowly, in the pit of my stomach. I could feel it in my chest, heavy and cold, but I didn't let it show. I walked to my room and just breathed. 4 days later, the real sting came. Dad tried to withdraw $2,400 from the joint emergency account, the one I had painstakingly built when Mom's hospital bills piled up, the one I had been funding alone for 3 years. The transaction was declined. I snapped a screenshot and sent it to him, plain, cold. Payment denied. Must be that real family policy. And then I turned off notifications. I went about my day. I told myself it was fine. I told myself I wasn't angry. But the truth, I was simmering, quietly, waiting. 2 days later, it came. The pounding. Repeated, furious hits on the front door that made the entire house tremble. I froze for a second. My heart raced. Who in their right mind knocks like that? I approached the peephole, and there they were. Dad's face, red, tense, ready to shove the door off its hinges. Cody pacing, fists clenched. Mom just standing there, calm on the surface, that classic I'm the victim here face that always wanted me to scream. I smiled. Not because it was funny, not because I agreed. I smiled because, in that moment, I understood something I hadn't admitted to myself before. They had made a choice, and I would not beg to be included in it. I cracked the door just enough for them to see me. Dad immediately began shouting, "What's this about freezing the account? Are you serious? This is funny to you?" Cody shifted nervously, staring at the floor. Mom stayed silent, silently counting on me to feel guilty. I spoke slowly, deliberately, each word weighted. "Dad, the account is mine. I opened it. I funded it. I allowed you to use it when emergencies came up, not because you deserved it, but because it was an option when you had no other." Dad's face contorted. "It's family money. You're part of this family." I let a small, calm smile slip through. "That's not what I heard at dinner." Cody jumped in. "You really took that seriously? It was a joke." I leaned slightly closer. "Yeah, because no one corrected him. No one said it wasn't a joke. No one ever said anything." They laughed, awkwardly. And then, for the first time in years, silence. I walked past them, and suddenly it was clear. They didn't know what to do with me anymore. "Get over yourself," Cody muttered. "You can get over the canceled vacation," I replied. Mom's eyes widened. "Canceled?" I nodded, charged back the deposit, paid for the cabin myself. Refund on the way. Dad's face went pale. "You what?" I reminded them, slowly, deliberately, of everything I had done, the calls I made, the deposits I paid, the coordination with schedules, the work I had handled. They took the trip and thought I'd stay silent. Cody muttered something about me acting like a villain from a courtroom drama. I didn't respond. Instead, I turned to Mom. "Remember last year? The emergency dental work you tried to hide from Dad? I covered it. Quietly, without receipts, without judgment." Her face shifted. A flicker of guilt? Surprise? I couldn't tell. "I went through it all. Dad's bills, insurance, medications, Mom's hidden charges, everything I'd silently managed, everything I'd silently sacrificed. And then I turned back to Mom. And you, the credit card you opened in my name 3 years ago, I didn't report it. I paid it off. Let it go. But not this. Not anymore." I saw panic flashing Dad's eyes. Mom went pale. Cody went quiet. They weren't shocked because they didn't know. They were shocked because I had stripped away their carefully curated image. The perfect parents, the innocent brother, the family who always did right. I had stripped it bare. Dad stepped closer. "You're going to regret this. You don't know what you're doing." I met his gaze, steady. "You have no idea who I am anymore. I'm not the daughter who silently fixes everything. I'm not your unpaid lawyer, your ATM. And if you push, I push back. Every single time." Mom's eyes filled with tears. Cody called me heartless. Dad called me ungrateful. I didn't answer. I shut the door, locked it. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just sat on the couch and stared at the ceiling. Relief washed over me. Not anger, not revenge. Relief. I had finally let go. 2 hours later, my phone rang. Grandpa. "Monica, I heard what happened. You're not wrong. I'm on your side. Let me know what you need." For the first time in years, I wasn't alone. Then Lana reached out. "He wants to talk. Urgent." I agreed to meet her at a small cafe. No Dylan, no pretense. Just truth. She looked at me, tense, quiet. "I think I want out."
I don't want to be like them. And that was it. That was the moment I realized the game had changed.
I think I want out. Lana whispered over coffee, her fingers tracing the rim of her cup like she was holding herself together. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe. I leaned back, letting her words settle. The cafe hum faded into the background, the clinking of spoons, distant laughter, even the barista calling out orders seemed muted. I had known, somewhere deep down, that this moment would come. The realization that some people could finally see the cracks in the family facade. She looked up, eyes glistening. I don't have anywhere to go. My friend in Colorado offered me a room, but I can't cover rent for months. I'm stuck. I reached into my bag, took out my checkbook, and slid a check across the table. $7,000. No strings, no explanations. Just freedom. Her eyes widened, mouth slightly open, trembling. Why? Why are you helping me? Because it's finally the truth. You see it now, and you deserve a chance at real life, not the one they're trying to trap you in. She nodded, folding the check carefully, tucking it into her bag like a lifeline. No words, just understanding. For the first time, I felt the warmth of human connection without obligation or manipulation. Later that week, the whispers began. Aunt Jean called. Monica, why are you cutting yourself off from the family? Is everything okay? I told her the truth. If you want the real story, ask me, not mom, not dad, ask me. They couldn't control the narrative anymore. The family they'd built around obligation, guilt, and expectation had started to crumble. I had drawn a line, and they couldn't cross it. By the weekend, the full smear campaign had started. I expected it. They painted me as unstable, selfish, overreacting. Mom spun tales about me being dangerous. Dad told extended relatives I was consumed by power and greed. It would have hurt once, a decade ago. But now I had space. I wasn't answering calls. I wasn't defending myself. I was watching the storm from a distance, breathing in the quiet. Then came Erica, my old high school friend. Hey, is everything okay with your parents? Screenshots attached, messages from mom asking Erica to manipulate me, to remind me of who I used to be, old photos of me smiling, camping, proof of normalcy. I forwarded everything to Lana with a single line. So it begins. She responded quickly. They're losing control. They have no idea what's coming. And she was right. Panic had set in. They had always relied on me as the quiet one, the responsible one, the one who never caused a scene. I had shattered that illusion. Then the unexpected. Cody texted me. We need to talk. Urgent. At first I ignored him. I wasn't ready to deal with their guilt, their manipulation, but the texts kept coming. Calls too. Finally, I answered, guarded, ready to shut him down. He sounded different, scared, hesitant. Someone's been using your info, Monica. Your old address, your email, fraud alerts. I think mom used your name again. My chest tightened. What? He explained, a $3,600 charge at a jewelry store in my name, shipped to their house. My heart sank. This wasn't a joke. This wasn't a petty trick. This was criminal. And it was current. I called my bank, confirmed the activity. Called the store, confirmed my suspicion. The purchase was made using my ID, my name, and my old address. I sat on my couch shaking, not from fear, but from calm determination. They weren't just trying to humiliate me anymore. They had crossed a line. The next morning, I went into my office, closed the door, drafted the first letter. To whom it may concern, I am reporting a fraudulent charge made in my name at store name on date without my consent or knowledge. I am prepared to pursue this legally and have supporting documentation. The primary suspect is a family member with a history of unauthorized use of my identity. I sent copies to the credit bureau, the store, and my lawyer friend Nate. Within hours, confirmation came. An investigation was underway. All eyes on their house. I didn't tell them. Not yet. I wanted the silence to stretch. I wanted the tension to grow. It didn't take long. Lana whispered later that night, "They're scared, Monica, really scared. Someone from the bank called them. Mom's been frantic all day. Dad is pacing, muttering, I think they know something's coming." I smiled quietly. "Something is coming," I said. 2 days later, the phone calls began, missed calls piling up. Then finally, the knock at my door. I checked the camera feed. Mom, Dad, Cody, and Aunt Jean. They looked exhausted, not apologetic, not reflective, just tense, expecting confrontation, expecting me to falter. I opened the door just enough to make them see me, to see that I wasn't afraid. Dad blurted first, "You really went to the police." I said nothing. He already knew. Mom tried guilt. "We didn't mean for things to get this far. We were under stress." I cut her off. "You thought I'd stay quiet again, didn't you?" Cody muttered about overreaction. I asked calmly, "Is using someone's identity to purchase $3,600 in jewelry nothing?" Dad stepped closer, threatening, but then a car pulled into the driveway. Grandpa. He got out, didn't look at them, walk up to my side. "I think she's made herself clear. Leave her alone." Dad sputtered. Grandpa shook his head. "She's not your crutch, not your bank. And if you've committed a crime in her name, you're damn lucky she's only filing a report." They left. No shouting, no door slamming, just silence. For the first time in years, the air felt clear, not just outside, but inside me. Relief, freedom, not revenge, not gloating, just space. The fraud investigation moved fast. Security footage from the store revealed my mother at the counter, signing my name, smiling as she took possession of the jewelry. No questions, no denial, just evidence. I didn't want to ruin her life. That wasn't the point. The point was limits, respect, boundaries, lessons that needed to be learned. Lana moved to Denver, starting fresh. Sent me a picture of her small apartment, her note thanking me. "I haven't breathed like this in years," she wrote. The final act came quietly. My parents spun stories to anyone who would listen. Neighbors, church members, extended family. They painted me as selfish, unstable, manipulative. I didn't respond. I didn't defend myself. Their version of events was theirs. My life was mine. Cody never apologized. That didn't surprise me. He stayed, unchanged, in the world they built. Grandpa calls sometimes, just to chat, about his garden, the weather, my work. "I'm proud of you," he says. That's all I've ever wanted. No confrontations, no dramatic apologies, just separation, peace. I finally lived a life where I wasn't used, manipulated, or taken for granted. The family continued spinning their story, but I was free. That was my victory. That was my revenge. And for the first time in years, I felt a lightness in my chest I didn't know I could feel again.